Hi. I'm going to restore this vintage Japanese electric guitar that I purchased at a flea market many years ago for $30 or maybe less. Around the time I bought this, I bought a bunch of guitars for under $30. It was the limit I set. Some arbitrary reason, $30 made sense. Not sure why. But I still got some really nice, cool guitars out of that. Now, this is an old Japanese guitar. It's not a Fender. I didn't buy any Fenders or Gibsons or anything that was worth any money, tragically. But these are really nice guitars. This has been sitting in my basement for a long time, gathering dust. So much dust. The main reason that's been doing that is because of that action, which is super aggressive. So one of the things I'm going to do is put a shim in it. Got some shims. See if that helps. And then these tuning keys are not great quality. They're ancient, they're rusting, and they're really hard to turn. The plastic, I don't know, it's probably not a great material for tuning keys. So we're going to replace them with some locking tuners. There's a couple other things, like the pick guard has 3 screws left, so we'll replace those. I will polish the pick guard up a little bit, and some of the other stuff just get generally cleaned up, maybe buff out some of the hardware. I thought about painting it, but I did paint this 30 years ago, and I thought that was probably fine. So I might just do some light sanding to bring out the white. Who knows? Clean it up and make it playable, because it's not playable right now. Sad because of that. All right. Like I said, I bought this guitar at a flea market. It was in San Francisco in the 90s. And back in the 90s in San Francisco, there were a lot of empty lots. There was a lot of open space because the dot-com boom hadn't happened, and then the subsequent insane real estate boom hadn't quite happened yet. So there was this flea market, and look, there's the bridge. It's pretty okay. I'm gonna keep it. What was I saying? Right, the flea market. It was on Saturday and Sunday. It was in this big lot between Mission, DuBose, and Van Ness. It's now a massive condo unit, but at the time it was a place to go on Saturday or Sunday mornings where you could have the privilege of buying back your CD collection that had been stolen out of your car the night before. But I like going there to buy Japanese guitars for under $30, and this is one of the many that I bought at that time. This might have actually been the first. You can't really see it, but this is the proof of how many bad guitars I've rehabilitated over the years. Those are all crappy tuning keys that I'm holding on to for some reason. I don't know why. Yes, that's a coffee stirrer stick. Not a great shim. You can see some of the original paint there in the neck pocket. You can also see some in the back where the neck plate was. It looks to have been originally some type of sunburst, but it was stripped down to bare wood when I got it. It is plywood, so it's nothing you really want to look at. It's not, has not beautiful grain or anything. of the holes is stripped, so I'm going to have to make a little adjustment. This is a book of matches that I bought in New York in the 90s from a studio sale. That was, they were selling props, and these were apparently props from the Francis Ford Coppola film, The Cotton Club. So I'm just getting some little splinters of wood that I can fit into the previous screw holes because they are stripped out. Such a pretty pick guard. For some reason, the nuts on the screws, pickup screws, are soldered on. Never seen that before. Trying to remove the solder from these nuts was not really working. So I opted for more intense measures. A friend of mine came by the other day to check out my workspace, and she noticed I was wearing flip-flops, and she said, "You probably shouldn't be wearing those in your workshop, right?" And I was like, "Oh, right, yeah, sure." Fast forward a couple days, and I'm using the cutoff wheel here on the Dremel. And when this nut flies off, it lands between my foot and the flip-flop. It really hurt. I really love this pick guard. It's not a pattern you see very often, so I'm going to buff it out. You can see it's pretty warped here, so I really not brave enough to do the whole heat gun and then put it under heavy weight, so it's going to remain warped. Now, I really should have bought shims that did not have holes in it, holes that are most likely for a fender, but here we are. Next time. With the shim cut to size, I decided to try to sand it a little bit and see if that cleared up some of the scuffs. The paint had kind of aged to a almost Olympic white, but a little bit more yellowish, as you can kind of see. I thought it looked pretty good after doing some sanding on both sides, and thought I would do some clear coat. It definitely looked a little aged and had some nice endearing scuff marks. Relicking, as they call it in the vintage guitar market. So I did that, and then I realized that I trapped in all these really bad stains. And did I really want to do that? And that's what was happening in my head right here. And so I buffed some to see if that would help. And I just did not like it. And so I did something I swore I would not do.